tonight's webinar. And a couple of housekeeping rules. Please have your cameras on and remain on mute unless you're asked to speak. We would like to welcome all the potential business owners who are here for the first or second time. Please ensure your name and city are labeled clearly on the chat window. For all the potential business owners call who have not already identified themselves, can you please unmute, state your name, your city, and who your engaging partner is? Go ahead.
Okay. I am Aaron Ofusine. Chen and Parama Managing Partners, and I'm in Dallas.
Welcome to the call.
Here.
Thank you.
Right, do we have anybody else?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Hi. Yes, my name is Jessica Gallardo. I'm from Mount Pleasant, Texas, and my engaging partner is Shruti Muda.
Welcome to the call, Jessica.
Thank you.
Okay, do we have anybody else who has
Yes.
not? Go ahead.
My name is Matthew from Saskatoon, Canada. My engaging partner is Samin and CP Jane.
Welcome.
Welcome here.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Sure.
Hello, my name is Femi Florensha from Houston, Texas, and my engaging partner is China Ampuna. Thank you.
Welcome to the call, Femi.
Hello, my name is Chris Herrera, and my engaging partners are Stephen and Etsy Gross from Kissimmee, Florida.
Welcome, Chris.
Welcome here.
All right, do we have anybody else at this time?
Yes, my name is Angelina Perez, and I'm from Tyler, Texas, and my partner is Miss Bruni.
Welcome.
Hi, welcome to the call.
Thank you.
All right, last call. Do we still have anybody who has not introduced themselves yet?
Yes. My name is Robert Radomorski, and my partner is Vikram, and I'm from Monticello, New York, and he's from Dallas, Texas.
Welcome here, Robert.
Thank you.
This meeting is being recorded.
All right. Before we introduce the speakers, do we have anybody else who did not introduce themselves? Okay. I believe it's about time. We are going to introduce our speakers for tonight. So if somebody has just joined now, good evening, everybody. We are Avinash and Pooja, and we are your host for today's call. We are very excited and privileged to be able to introduce the speakers for today's webinar, Dr. Eleka Efejica. Dr. Eleka is a public health trained doctor of pharmacy and currently resides in Los Angeles, California. He has always been interested in creating choices for himself, which will allow him the opportunity to impact populations of people within all aspects of their health.
What's the matter?
Okay, looks like somebody who needs to get on mute. Okay. All right, good. So as I was mentioning, Dr. Eleka is a public health trained doctor of pharmacy and currently resides in LA, California. He has always been interested in creating choices for himself, which allow him the opportunity to impact populations of people within all aspects of their health, mental, physical, emotional, and financial. In order to do that, he understood the importance of building a sustainable and a duplicative asset-based income in order to buy his time back from the typical 40-hour work week grind. Through this mentorship program, Eleka has emerged as one of the most upcoming leaders and is on track to retire at a young age from corporate America. The habits, the value systems of this program has helped him impact many others who are looking to create similar choices in their lives. With that, without any further ado, please help us welcome Dr. Eleka to the call, please.
Before we begin, let me know if you guys can hear me. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, I had some technical difficulties, so we're using my audio on another device. But first off, thank you so much, Avinash and Pooja, for the wonderful introduction. And good evening, everyone. Of course, you know, this is the virtual evaluation seminar for the North America market. So good evening to all. I know we have some partners who are in attendance and maybe even some prospective business owners. I think I saw who are in attendance from other parts, of the world, right? So India, Australia, New Zealand, UK. So just to make sure I cover all grounds. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good day. Right. So as Avanesh and Pooja had mentioned, my name is Dr. Ileka Ifejika, right? And, I want to take the time to specifically, just address the prospective business owners who are on today's call for the first or second time, right? And the reason why I'm doing that is because I want you guys to kind of just take some time to really just soak in the moment, right? To have earned an invite to be a part of this virtual evaluation seminar meant that you would have had to have gone through multiple steps. Multiple times you may have met with your engaging partners, 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 times, maybe read 1, 2, maybe 3 books, right? So all that's being done outside of your current life just means that there must have been a realization, right, that your current path is not going to give you what you're looking for. And that can mean something different for every person here, right? And that first, in my opinion, takes a realization. Once that realization happens, there's an acceptance, right? The acceptance that, okay, I know if I don't try, then nothing will get better, right? And then the decision to actually move forward. So, definitely give yourselves a round of applause, take a couple of deep breaths, enjoy today's virtual evaluation seminar, right? Again, it's really just to connect the dots, and, for me, 3 years ago, I was literally sitting across from just like you, where I was listening to a speaker similarly, share their journey of what led them to get from point A to point B and how this program helped them do so. And, I want to just take some time to give you a little bit about that background, right? Because, I think I was always taught to seek success based on what I do as a job. My family's from Nigeria originally. They migrated to the United States in the early 80s. I was born in the US, but I think that's all I saw. I saw my parents who worked really hard in America to do well for themselves in their career, and that determined how they wanted to live, right? Depending on certain statuses, job titles, I can say, oh, this person's a director at this position. And then it's assumed that they live a certain kind of way. And I'm assuming that's what got passed down to me, right? And, so I followed the same path. I pursued my academics to the master's level and the doctorate level, right? And, on the outside looking in, yeah, okay, Dr. Ileka Ifejika, that sounds awesome, right? But only I would know that that's all I saw. And that even if I had the intentions with my degree to impact people, it was always at the mercy of a job. It was always at the mercy of them deciding objectively or subjectively when I get paid, how I impact people, so on and so forth. So I was looking for more. And, at that time, I was in the process of onboarding to a new company, right? And just for a new role as a consultant. And I think, of course, ideally, it's like, oh, it sounds cool. You get to travel here and do this and do that, right? But that's how I kept seeing my success. But ironically enough, 7 days later, I got through orientation, and the company had decided to rescind my offer. No professional feedback, no, really rationale behind it, except that a company had to make an objective decision. They weren't going to say, oh, Ileka, here, let's go and pay you because we feel bad for you. I know that you have to go figure out now how to live. So that's when I started really thinking, oh, wow, like, even if I do have a passion, my passion is limited to assist a company. Not that I'm opposed to working for a company. I have nothing against that. But I think it should be that if I love something, I should be able to get to the point where I can do it for free without the stress of a bad culture. A bad culture is only a problem when you know that you have no way out of it, right? So that was how I started thinking. And of course, I was never someone who was opposed to seeking guidance, right? I mean, we're all taught instructionally to think instructionally. Someone taught me how to walk. Someone taught me how to crawl, right? So the same people who I saw guidance from, parents, siblings, coworkers, friends, who kind of I would tell certain things to, like, I'm feeling this way. They told me, just go find another job. And that's when I started realizing there's two different schools of thoughts here, right? One where I think an individual can seek their success based on just what they do as a job. The minute that, you go to any networking session or even just any event, what do you, my name is Dr. Like, I'm a pharmacist. How are you? Like, no, it's okay. Like, I know I'm also a son, I'm also somebody who cares about people. I'm one of 7 siblings. I have a twin brother, right? But if I hide behind my status, then I don't really get to understand who I can become. And so I was looking for people who I think could provide me clarity in how I felt and some pathway to get there. That was my unique reason as to why I got here. It was really more so who the people were. There had to be an alignment of values. It couldn't just be someone who was in healthcare because I'm in healthcare. And again, tying it to what I do, it had to be someone who I think aligns to me from a philosophical, from a value standpoint, who I think sees life in the same way I do. Not really material results, but more so those core values of just wanting to have that time, right? So, I went through a process just like you guys. Fast forward 3 years later, yeah, I'm able to create some substantial choices. But more importantly, I took the time to really understand who I am, how I wanted to live, and was able to connect this program as a path for me to get there. So, I wanted really to take the time before I really dive in to ask some of you guys. I know that there's a lot of prospective business owners in the building today. So let me call on Erica. Erica Harris, how are you doing this evening?
I'm good, Doctor. How are you this evening?
Doing awesome. Thank you. Thank you. So I have a quick question for you. Just like I mentioned before, I would love to know, on a Tuesday evening, why virtual evaluation seminar, no happy hour, anything of that nature? In all seriousness, right? I mean, what's driving you to want to seek more outside of what you're doing to be here? Why are you here in this process?
My passion, I'm here for the mentorship, for the development, for the growth, and for the opportunity. I'm in a similar boat as you, where my success was once defined by my title or my salary, and I lost sight of my passion. And now that I've defined my passion as people, process, and progress, I want to gain this mentorship in order to pour that passion back into others. So I'm here tonight for that.
No, I can relate to that, right? Because, I think when I was going through the process myself, I think as I was going through it more and more, I started realizing that, yeah, I think the reason why I became a pharmacist was because I wanted to, that was my way of, at the, I guess, granular level, my way of just saying, I wanted tangible knowledge to care for the people that I love. And I started realizing I can't change the world, so I changed myself. So I think same here. I wanted to earn the right to be able to have the things I wanted in my life. And I knew that if I could identify the things that I knew I needed to change, so I couldn't use the same brain to, solve the same problems that my current problems put me in, then I couldn't get to that point. So I totally agree. And thank you so much for sharing. I want to call on one more person before we begin our limited time this evening. Thank you so much. Let's call on Femi. Femi Olorunso, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you, Doctor.
Of course, anytime. So same question. I'd love to know, why are you going through this process?
Yeah, good question. I could relate easily with your story, and also, the passion of it can't just be 9 to 5. Our lives can't just revolve around 9 to 5. After a period of time, we'll have to retire from what we do, and the plan is what we'll fall back on. So that's been a big challenge for me. What do I have to give to my kids? A good retirement plan so that they don't have to, worry about their future. 9 to 5. The employer can tell you, sorry, we don't need your services again. What happens to me? So trying to, to have a good plan for myself and also for my family. So when this opportunity came, I said, this is what this is what I need at this time. So basically, that's why, I'm there today.
Awesome. Just real quickly, what can you guys see on your screen right now? Do you see multiple windows or do you see just one window?
Multiple windows.
Okay, awesome. Oh yeah, that's always fun. Just give me a few minutes, okay? I'm gonna just restart this, and you guys should be able to see my screen, which should show a slide deck. And as you guys have pretty much have seen, you should see now, right?
We can see that.
Okay. That I really want to just make this more of a conversation. I have a slide deck to keep me on track, honestly speaking, because I could talk till Australia's evening, right? So, I totally agree from you, right? And I think that level of acceptance to ultimately make the decision is what I mentioned before. Like, I knew that I didn't have the answers, but I also had to accept that I worked pretty darn hard to get to where I was at some point. And it's not that I had to accept that it wasn't for nothing. It was just that I had to get to the point where maybe it led me to a path where I could unlearn some things and learn too, right? And I think that transitions beautifully into why, right? Why this process, right? The same thing that I asked my mentors when I was going through. Why? Why, 3 to 4 weeks? Why 8 to 9 steps? Excuse my handwriting. Why 8 to 9 steps? And something interesting that my mentors told me, right? They said, okay, Ileka, how long did it take you to get your PharmD? I said, 4 years. They said, how long did it take you to get your master's? I said, 2 years. They said, how long did it take you to get your bachelor's degree? I said, 4 years. They said, actually 21 years, right? I said, oh, yeah, right, I guess. Yeah, then in that case, yeah, 30, sure. Okay, right? So they said, okay, so then if you can't prioritize 3 to 4 weeks, right? To learn how to do something that I'm pretty sure maybe your mother or father respectfully have not done before. Grandparents, great-grandparents, great-grandparents, great-great-great-grandparents, right? If you can't prioritize 3 to 4 weeks, 8 to 9 steps to be able to get you the clarity and someone's willing to work with you, what makes you think you have the patience to buy your life back? I said, perfect, I'll shut up now. Preparational, educational. That's where it started. Because for me, I had learned very quickly that, yeah, I was somebody who had entrepreneurial spirit. I think that I was a smart person, someone who could understand concepts well, could think innovatively and do things where even maybe at the root of it, yeah, I could maybe have some profitability, but I wouldn't know how to buy my time back. I wouldn't know how to build systems. I wouldn't know how to do those things. And I'm not going to sit here and, when I was a pharmacist, I didn't go on YouTube. I went through a curriculum where I was prepared and educated. So it was the same thing here. Same thing with you guys in this stage. I'm sure at this stage you had read 2 books, Business of 21st Century and Go Giver. And, we'll talk about those in a little bit. I'd love to get your feedback on those, just your thoughts and how that's helping you gain some clarity. But, for me, I realized with the Business of 21st Century, that's what made me realize, okay, the reason why I can have entrepreneurial kind of wants, tendencies, desires, but the things that were stopping me was because I was taught to be an employee my whole life. So I had to also go through a journey of unlearning. The Go Giver was very important because I got to understand the principles in which wealth is created: value, authenticity, right? Receptivity, influence, and being able to ultimately understand how to allow the law of compensation to work. And understood that it was under the principles of serving people, irrespective of what you seek, right? But also being able to understand how to control your network. All these different things I knew I had to learn, right? But I wanted to go through a journey, right? To build that foundational knowledge so I can be sure that this is the path. So a lot of times people can say, oh, I want financial freedom, time freedom. You can put your goals together, right? But I think that even at that point, it could be still rather arbitrary unless you can really connect a certain pathway to that, or you're able to really understand the magnitude of what it is to be financially free. What are you actually saying? You're trying to buy your life back. So that's what this process is for, experiential. You guys are here at a virtual evaluation seminar, right? Where you're able to scroll through the screens. You see hundreds of people from all over the world, right? When I went through this, I realized, oh my God, I'm not crazy, bro. I think there's all these people too. Awesome. And ultimately speaking, it's a selective process. You guys are going through a process to earn mentorship through this program. And one of the things that I realized was that when I went through the process, it wasn't that I needed a certification or 3 to 4 years of experience. It was that I just had to show that I was growth-minded. And I mean like really growth-minded, right? As we talk about here, I had to build a case for myself. Growth mindset. Anyone can be growth mindset, have that growth mindset in their comfort zone. I knew that too. I was taught to the minimum and the maximums. Can I get out of my comfort zone? Can I do something outside of my job to navigate life and prioritize this aspect? A future desired state. Because if my future desired state equals my future job state, then I shouldn't be here. Maybe my simple fix could have been just a remote job where maybe I could travel and still being productive at work, but I still wouldn't have had the time that I wanted. But for some people, that might be just what they wanted. But for me, that wasn't the case, which is why, for a lot of you guys, I'm sure that's why you're here. The willingness to learn and change. I also want to add the unlearn and change, right? Obviously, there's a recognition of our expertise. And when I say expertise, not only expertise in terms of the ability to build a substantial asset here, but expertise in the clarity and the conviction and our ability to help individuals find that at the elementary level first. Because without that match, right, there isn't that, things fall apart, right? So there's a recognition there. The ability to independently think and make decisions, right? Everybody loves Google. That's awesome. But can you really take the time to make decisions based off of the facts? And most importantly, I'm sure a lot of you guys are in a WhatsApp group or a Telegram group. Can you take the time if you have any questions? There are skepticism. There's nothing wrong with being skeptical. That means you want to acquire information. But being skeptical just to be skeptical still doesn't absolve you from, or me from my current truth at that time, which was that I wasn't where I wanted to be. So this is very important, right? Agenda, like I said before, I want to make it very conversational. I know some of you guys had a chance to read a couple of books. I know that for many of you guys, the first book was Business 21st Century. I want to call on Vaibavi.
Yes. Hello.
So first of all, Vaibavi, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Pune, India.
Okay, so it's
6:48 a.m. right now.
Got it. Cool. Okay. Awesome. So good morning. Good morning. Glad you can attend. You had a chance to read Business 21st Century, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Do me a favor. Answer a couple of questions for me. So when you read Business 21st Century, obviously you had it. This looks familiar to you, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Can you take the time to just, I would love to know which quadrant, when you were reading the book, and maybe even until today, right? Which quadrant were you in when you started?
I was deep into the employment quadrant.
Which
when I tried getting the employment quadrant, and when I tried getting out of it, I could only land up in the small business one.
Okay.
So now I am trying to get into the right hand side quadrants.
Like this, or like this, but some way like that. Okay. Anyone else? Matthew, what about you? Same question.
Yes, I think I've been on the small business quadrants, and I'm trying to cross into business system.
All right, so Jessica, I have a question for you. What do you think stops people from making that jump? Right.
Right now, probably the capital, the money, and they probably don't have that open-mindedness.
Okay. Anyone else want to just throw in? Erica, Matthew, Jessica, Bobby, Femi, any other reasons as to why you think?
I think for most of the population, it's fear of the unknown, fear of perhaps their own abilities, in my opinion.
I'm gonna second that and say, in addition to fear, there is a piece of missing collaboration there. You know, finding the right connections, finding the right network to pour into your net worth. So
Awesome. Okay. Anyone else? Look forward.
Yeah, I'd like to also throw in